What is up, YouTube? It is Matty, and we are doing a war recap with Powerbang. How are you doing, man?
Hey, Matty, I'm doing great, man. Props to you guys on the war win over us. It was a fantastic performance by Emphatic Elite.
Thank you, thank you. I must say that the score doesn't represent how the war felt and stuff. I think there's a little bit of tough times on the Wiz Honor Face side with a lot of raids that were close, but yeah, we're going to go through a couple of raids that I've chosen, and after that we're going to go through on a separate video which will be on Powerbang's channel. We're going to go through some raids that he's chosen for his part of the recap. So idea being, on my channel I show my raids, his channel he shows his raids, so to get the full experience you go and check his channel out. But Powerbang, how long have you been YouTubing?
Oh, YouTubing. So it is the 2nd of November today. It looks like about 8 months. Started at
That
the beginning of March.
that is surprisingly quick considering I started Jan 14 and you've essentially got, I've had a 14-month advantage, and you're about to hit 50k really, aren't you?
Any day now, I should be hitting 50,000 subscribers. There was a period of time where it jumped up quite quickly. It was like 1,000 subscribers a day.
That's
A couple
insane.
videos went viral, so
Yeah,
been
yeah,
been
I've had
fortunate.
a similar vein. When they take off, they really take off, don't they?
Indeed, it was cool. I mean, well, maybe I'll put out a few more of those. Who knows?
Well, hopefully it's always a guessing game which ones are going to go. I mean, oh god, I'm about to admit this, but my most bloody viewed video is learning Go Wipe. Here
Oh
goes a bunch of
no.
people.
Well,
Yeah,
you
I
know
know.
what? There's a big market for that out there. I think there's a
Oh,
lot
there
of
is.
people that are searching for go wipe attacks.
But I know you started as a war YouTuber.
I did. I was already employing three-star strategies when I started the YouTube, and my goal for starting YouTube in general was to help my struggling clanmates transition to three-star strategies, and I couldn't get them to do their own research or, really buy in, I guess you would say. But the channel helped out a lot, and then all of a sudden, the general public was showing up and liking and subscribing, and
Uh,
lo and behold, before you know it, it was a channel, a real
uh,
legit channel.
and thus the motivation was set.
Indeed.
As soon as you start getting the interaction, yeah, you know as well as I do that it just sets it up, doesn't it? You just want to suddenly you've got an audience. You want to, I suppose, please people, show content, teach, and it all takes over. Myself, it wasn't even that. I mean, I started just doing it for, I was showing farming raids, and it really took me late to get into the war scene, and it was One Hive and Hulk that got me in. But anyway, yeah, I think it's fair to say that Powerbang is one of the best war YouTubers out there. Great commentator. I would not be surprised if he wasn't on the sort of heading up the ClashCon event next year. So yeah, guys, check out his channel. Just knows his shit. Mind the
Well,
bad
thank you,
language.
Matty. I appreciate the kind words.
That's all right. Okay, we're going to go through some raids. We've got 6 to go through, so we're going to go bottom to top, and the first one we're going to look at is number 29, which is an attack done by Jesse. So PB is going to have a look on his phone as well, or his what are you on? Phone, iPad?
I use everything, but right now I'm on an iPad.
Fair enough. But yeah, it was a lot of you'll see a lot of the base designs these days. You've got a bunkered AQ, meaning she's normally a hell of a long way from the giant bomb sets, and this sort of falls into the typical sort of base design that are the modern anti 3 stars. Would you agree?
Oh, absolutely. The meta, so to speak, of the game has gone from having that queen well protected, moving her kind of offset to one side of the base, where it's very, very difficult or impossible to do a standard entry with a golem and maybe a kill squad to take the queen out, as well as get other objectives in the base, such as air defenses or giant bombs. So you see that in, I think, almost every one of our base designs.
Yeah, exactly. Same here. I mean, if you look through our designs as well, and I suppose the point is, before it was like, oh my god, you need to protect the queen because you need to get her as central as possible because once she's down, you can take the base down. But then the realization, I suppose, and the wave of, well, actually, if you move her away from the core traps like double giant bombs for or air defenses for Hounds and Laloon, then boom, it's gonna really make it difficult. Yeah, you can kill the queen easy, but once you've done that, what next? But yeah, let's have a. I'm gonna hit play, have a little look at Jesse's approach. I'm gonna click pause at the start of the raid though, because this highlights a point to me, which I always talk about, and hybrid armies. You know, creating an army very specific for the base. And it's brought 4 loons, and I think what I want to show you is the entry point he takes in, but where those loons really come into use within the raid, because it's only 4, it's not a huge amount, but good value he gets from them. So I'm going to hit play and get the raid going with my iPad bleeping in the background. Takes an entry point from 2, so he's got a long way to get into the queen. He's had to take a double jump, which obviously typically, you always want to carry about 2 heal spells. I would say it really does depend what you're doing with the kill squad, to be fair. If you're doing a stone go-ho and taking a huge amount of the base with a queen walk, then maybe 1 heal's okay. But traditionally, if you're doing a sort of a shattered, a double golem attack, you're going to want around 2 heal spells, unless you're using Valks as well to add in some major attack power into the kill squad. At which point healing the Valks can become important. But on this one, I think he's found a point. The double giant bomb threats to me look like there's one in the core by the sweeper, and there is another, in fact, by both sweepers. Would you do you actually know where the traps are on this one, PB?
I don't. I did not look at the base. I mean, I can give you a pretty good guess, but yeah, the sweeper in the first is probably where those double bombs are.
One's just been tripped on the one sweeper, and you can see the entry point he's taken. He's eliminating the giant bomb threats. He's got the double jump through to the queen now, and at this point in the raid, he's brought in the loons. And because both air defenses have gone down, it's a very well timed drop on the loons, to be fair, because the air defense just about went down, but they've taken down 3 defenses and then now carrying on to move through the base. But what it's meant is that when he drops his hogs towards 6, 7, 8 o'clock, they're basically going to go one way, and that's north to very sort of few defenses. But because he's all done it relatively seamless, the kill squad are still there, the queen's taking defenses down, the hogs are all converging into the final defenses. Queen's now hitting a Tesla on my screen, and then he's just got that final heal spell for that wizard tower, which, to be fair, if he wanted to have done a swag heal on that raid, I'm pretty sure he could have.
Yeah, that was a beautiful raid by Jesse.
Yeah, it was good. The reason I liked it for that one is I think I don't think of it sometimes. A lot of the times I think of like front end loons, maybe even back end loons, but sort of mid range loons where you know that your kill squad's going into a point, they're going to take down an air defense, then throwing in some loons into that raid. It takes a good look at the base to figure out that, okay, if I take those defenses down and get my hogs to path that direct route, I mean, you can see how swiftly they move through the base, and before you know it, it was done. Also, swag pecker in the CC.
Absolutely.
The raid is done on mine. I'm going to move us on up to number 27. So it's an attack.
Sounds good. One thing on that last raid, too, that I saw that Jesse did a great job of was the entry, dropping that test wall breaker to clear out that little bomb that would have otherwise killed his wall breakers if he would have sent them all in at the same time.
I'm going to replay it as well. You know as well as I do that when when you do a wall breaker fail, it can very often lead to the actual fail of the full raid, with either golems getting hit extra hard, heroes having to bang through the walls, king then going in front of the queen. It just all can snowball, and yeah, picking up that little single bomb with a test wall breaker. And you'll probably notice actually in a lot of the raids that we do, 4 wall breakers have become the norm for us.
We do the exact same thing. It's pretty much standard to take 1 more than you need to try to test that area where you're going to enter, because like you said, if you do fail the wall breaker entry, 90% of the time you're not going to get the 3.
Yeah, exactly. I've now taken us up to number 27, which is an attack by the Holy, who often is one of our elite cleanup crew that normally just racks in the 6-star wars. No exception here, I don't think. I think he did get a 6-star war again. But doing, what am I just trying to figure out? Oh yeah, he's doing a dragon kill on the queen with the rage. and then I'm paused at the start of the screen, by the way.
I'm with you, my man.
Good. But this is the thing. The only worry for me when you do a dragon kill on the queen is, are there any seeking air mines? Is there an air defense in range? Is there an expo in range? And on this base, the air defense looks far enough away, so does the expo. So the only thing he's got to worry about really is funneling the dragons in. But more importantly, are the seeking air mines there? So, but if you can get the dragon kill, particularly obviously using the rage to help take it down, if you can kill the queen, then it means that when you do the, in this case, shattered goho, so 2 golems, he can basically choose wherever he wants to attack in, because all he's trying to do at that point is then eliminate the giant bomb threats, which on this base, to me, look like they're between the wizard tower and mortar that I'm zoomed into towards the north of the screen, and then the air defense and expo. So if there's potentially, if he attacks in through 12 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 10 o'clock, he should be able to get the majority of those double giant bomb threats down, because he gets to choose, because the queen's dead, therefore it's no longer an issue.
Exactly. With the queen offset like that, and when you pick her off with those dragons, you can actually direct your jump spell to where you don't necessarily have to direct your kill squad to the core, so to speak. You can just go straight through the objectives, getting those bombs taken out. So
yeah, and you don't need them to carry on. They can get that job done. And if the queen, especially if they kill the queen at the start, you can just almost hog as you drop the troops down. So once you've killed the CC, the hogs can go in and start doing what they need to do and taking down the defences, while the golems go in and essentially trip the bombs with Mr. King normally. I'm going to hit play and have a little look at how it starts out on this raid, and we can see what tips we can pick up. Early funnel going down with a couple of minions at the bottom. Down at 6 o'clock, identify that there really isn't any air defence there. Even if there was a Tesla, it's still out of range. Meanwhile, he's actually already got the golems in. Just noticed up at sort of 9:30, 10 o'clock. 2 golems going in. He's picked his entry point. Queen's going in with them. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets his king down soon, which he's just done. And he almost looked like he was going to walk off there. No, that had me thinking for a
Scary
second.
moment.
Yeah, it always is. But poison down. It's important to get your poison down early. Look at this actually. Down at bottom as well at 6 o'clock, you can see a test loon in. That's kind of key as well, because if you can drop that single loon just to see if there's a seeking air mine there, and it also helps take down the defense, it's going to help him in the long run. Rage down on the dragons, they're going in. Meanwhile, again, king and queen going down, so you can see he's doing simultaneous things here. He's keeping his eye on the dragon and the queen kill. The dragons are taking some defenses down. He's letting the CC go in. Meanwhile, the CC is still the kill squad are still just distracting. The hogs are going down, so it's almost like that synergy of the raid where everything's flowing and distracting for each other. So meanwhile the hogs are getting hit now, they're helping protect the queen, and while the again extra hogs in through 9 o'clock, that's helped take that cannon down to help the pathing. So all these features that once you sort of practice and get your head into the mindset of what defenses need to go down, getting which entry points you need to take in to take down certain threats and defenses, you can really start working on the timing, which I think Holy's got down like an absolute dream here. So you can see you go now at this point, Powerbang, you can see that the defenses are gone. How many hogs has he got left? His queen's pretty much at full health. His king's alive as well.
74.
Yeah.
absolute ton of hogs.
I know. For me, again, it's just, to me, I can't do that. A lot of people in my clan, a lot of other clans that I've seen are on a different level than me. This is that sort of raid highlights to me what I want to be like and how I want to just dominate a base like that. But I'm not there. I'm not by a long shot.
Completely can relate to you on that. We've got some absolute beast attackers over in our crew, and I am not at that level. I try. I do a decent job.
At least you're showing them off to the world.
Right, exactly. One thing that you mentioned with Holy's raid there, just that synergy that's so huge when you can hit multiple parts of the base at the same time and have the different squads work together, because when you can make a defense force it to pick between one group of troops or the other, you've drastically reduced the effectiveness of the overall defense because they can't put out the damage on one group of troops at a time.
I've seen so many times like a shattered Goho happen where someone sends 2 golems in, king, queen, goes and gets the CC kill, goes in them, kills the enemy queen and stuff. Pretty much lets that whole force die, then try and hog the base and just run short of hogs. And for the most part, that might not be a double GB that's killed them. It might be a combination of springs, but the fact that the full focus of the defences are all hitting them at once, they just start to fizzle out, and it can often feel like, well, where have they all gone? But I've healed them throughout. How has that worked out? And you might find that it's the fact that you've taken down a small portion of the base, while the whole rest of it is purely focused on killing those hogs, which has happened a lot for me as well. So it took a while for me to go through, to get it through in my head. Should we say? I'm moving into Epic's raid on number 23. I'm getting a lot of messages flash up on my screen, but anyway, yeah. And this is my favourite attack style, okay? If there is an attack choice I would say is my genuine favourite, it's Go Varho. Particularly when you rack it in with a bit of an AQ walk. I mean, this is swagtastic loveliness, for a little phrase for you.
Absolutely. Looking at this base, doesn't it look pretty vulnerable? I mean, I don't remember this raid specifically, but looking at this base, it just seems really vulnerable to jump spells, just because everything's, you can literally coming in from either 4 or 5 o'clock or 10 or 11, you could use 2 jumps and get from one side of the base all the way out the other side.
You could potentially hocus pocus it then.
Yeah.
Or go Wiz. Yeah.
Continue on.
Yeah. On this attack, I think he comes in about 9 o'clock. Now, we're still paused at the start of the raid. You can see 2 minutes 30. So the worrying thing for me, which took me a while to get my head around, is the time in an AQ walk, that you make sure you get that right. Because walking a queen is a timely process, but again, moving back to the point of synergy, if you can start other things happening while the queen's walking, then you can always add or regain some of that time you would lose by her just walking around the base. But I think what he's trying to do here, he starts the queen walk about 9 o'clock and he moves a sort of anti-clockwise, going down to 6 and then around, and you can see the defenses is going to take down in the process. It just, because there's so many, the natural way bases are built, there's so many point defense sort of on the external. If you can take a chunk of that down and then do a separate sort of troop composition, so we say, to take down the core or to take down key elements like giant bomb threats, queen, CC, and Valkyries do a very good job with that. Particularly if you combine them with a rage and a heal, they go mental. I'm gonna hit play and maybe PB. How about you talk us through what's happening on this screen?
Sounds good. I hit play a little bit, so we'll start off. Go ahead, hit play on your end, and I'll catch.
I'm at 225.
Sounds good. So he basically drops the queen in there at about 9 o'clock, 8:30 or so, and just starts chipping away at some of the buildings, getting that point defense out. And something to point out, that Zero Gravity was actually worried about a queen walk on this side of his base. That was what he was scouting it, against himself. He was like, I hope he doesn't do that. But, he did. And right when he brought that army composition, Zero Grav was like, oh, no, this is going to end poorly for me. Because we did watch this one live. So anyways,
that's an interesting insight.
The queen makes her way, down the side of the base, just picking everything off. And, she's going to be, I can't remember if she triggers the clan castle here. I believe she's going to step up and get that lure done as well, which is another thing with a lot of these queen walks. He brought 4 healers to deal with the additional point defense there, rather than the standard 3. So smart play by Epic to go ahead and, have enough. But then the P.E.K.K.A comes out of the clan castle. I was like, oh, this could get interesting. So
scary moment, isn't it?
Yeah. So P.E.K.K.A comes out, jumps over the wall, and he's going to basically tear into that queen, he hopes, but it's not going to be soon enough. And he just continues on. Well, at the same time, you have Kill Squad coming in from the top of the base, and you can see him trying to, segment out those potential double giant bomb positions. You've got that huge compartment up top with the air defense and wizard at 12, 1 o'clock. A lot of potential for bombs in there, and then also the entry point at 10 o'clock. where the Valkyries come in and immediately trigger a double giant bomb. So that immediately removes the threat for the hogs as they'll, come in to follow up. But he has gotten so much of this base already taken out and still has like 11 hogs left in the bag, to deploy later on in the base. So looking at what's left, he's got a couple archer towers, a cannon, and a Tesla, and a ton of hogs with heal left to go ahead and remove, the rest of the threats of this base. Meanwhile, the kill squad's still alive with a ton of health left, tanking
That's cool,
everything.
wizards.
Look at that. He's got a whole little group of wizards there walking together. That's awesome. Getting that core taken out. That's helpful. Don't have to go back later and get that. But he ran. We were thinking, man, he's not going to have enough time to get all this done because it was taking so long on the queen walk. But he just completely decimated the base. I mean, just took it apart and, finished up with plenty of time to spare, much to our chagrin over here at WHF. So very nice raid to Epic.
I'm just going to speed through it again. The thing I loved about it was the early hogs. They made a huge impact. So you can see I'm just whizzing through now. You don't need to do the same. It's up to you. But gets the queen going down towards 6 o'clock. Brings in the kill squad from, about 10 o'clock. But then watch... the Valkyries are going in. He's got his entry point. He's placed a jump so that they have to basically go into that bigger compartment that Powerbang was talking about, where all those potential threats are, and the route to the Queen, which the second jump will get him to. But those early hogs to take down the cannon, they then to take down the Tesla, they then take down the sweeper, and they're essentially just moving through the base, wizards helping them out, and just meaning that he never has to travel backwards. He throws in a couple of hogs at the top side as well. Just all those hogs sort of converging with the kill squad, adding so much value to it and keeping the kill squad alive, so by the time the king gets to the queen, he's like, man, I'm on full health with an ability, I'm just going to rip her face off.
Pretty much.
Yeah, and then those final 9 hogs for like 3 defenses were just stupid. Stupid in the sense of ridiculous.
Absolutely. We looked at that and we were like, this is going to be close, because we were thinking it just took so much time, and then we were watching how quickly, the last half of that raid unfolded and everything just getting taken apart. And we were like, I don't know. And then we looked at the bag of troops, and he still had 11 hogs, and we were like, oh no, this is done. So very nice raid.
Next one's number 13, Powerbang, and this is we can just pretty much press play on this and let it go. So I'll tell you when to press play, and I'll do the same. I'm in the raid now. Are you ready?
Rock and roll, man.
I'm going to hit play now. So here we go. It's a cold-blooded Laloon. I mean, this is the attack I tried on PB, as you'll all know, because the video would have been uploaded by now. But I mean, if you can get it right, and I did it. I didn't. I went in from a slightly... You'll see my kill squad melted, whereas Rev got good angle in. There's not that many defenses there to take him down. I love the fact that the golem wasn't getting hit by the queen for the start, and then by the time it was, that sort of helped aggro the king almost straight onto the queen. Oh no, he's taking down the AT first. But from that entry point, if he can get that air defense, which is the one that's sat just to the right of that the queen compartment, he's left with 3 air defenses, and he can get both sweepers down as well, and a wizard tower and archer towers. It's potentially getting just a huge return for that investment of a golem and some heroes. Because most sort of traditional armies all rely on the main bulk, which is either hogs or Laloon. The heroes are essentially just to do a task, and let me tell you that task was more than completed on this raid. And with that left, with those 3 air defenses, and he's got 3 rage spells as well, all he needed to do was essentially spam those the hounds and loons in, and without being by using some form of intelligence in where to drop the loons and the hounds and the rage spells, it wasn't too hard to actually rip the base apart. And you're always going to be left with natural cleanup on a cold-blooded Laloon, because you've got 4 hounds. Which, if you can count the amount of pups that's going to generate, it's just crazy as well. And you can see Hound's still alive, Loon's still alive, quite a large amount. There is a single arch tower at the top, which would have been great if he'd have had a spare Loon or 2 to throw on it, just to stop, to allow the sorry, to stop the loon travel time, because that's the biggest disadvantage of loons being slow. But if I zoom out now, you can see all those pups that are still left, and the wizard as well. It was just made sense for me to do it on this raid, because you got so much value from that kill squad, and such a cheap kill squad in the terms of troop space, that you could carry all those loons and hounds and then essentially pull off a relatively not too difficult first hit 3-star. Thoughts?
Definitely. The 16 loons and 4 hounds, while, having a kill squad going in and get that much value, that's impressive. I mean, made it a very easy raid on himself, having the queen, get into that compartment, do her thing. She actually survived for the bulk of that raid. She finally got taken down towards the end there, but very good job to the kill squad there.
Yeah, so it was unfortunate for Demand Myth, what is it? Demand Myth Legend.
Yes.
Anyway, I'm gonna move into number 12 now. Attacked by Dave. I've hit pause at the start of the raid, and guess what? It's the Matty fave. It's the Go Varho with EQ. So if you guys want to make a note of the comp, it's just EQ Go Varho is what I would call it. 9 wizards, so he's going to do a decent amount of probably down at the start of the raid to help create the funnel. And I think actually he spreads his troops from the golems and wizards from 9 till 12, and does a wide spread on the wizards with the sole purpose that they can take down the outer layer and then help take down the inner layer of the cannon, the arch tower. And if you can do that with the kill squad and make it get the wizards to work, because I think what he also does is combine in some hogs as well. So almost the traditional way of thinking is get your golems down and create a funnel with wizards. So use 2 or 3 or so just to make sure that your king and queen go inside the base. The newer way of thinking is what value can I get with those wizards, or with a couple of hogs at the front end, taking down a whole sort of those extra defences, because that's going to mean my golem's going to last a little bit longer. I mean, I don't need to worry about those defences later in the raid, and that then I can sort of move on and through the base and carry on with the rest of the attack. So I'm going to hit play and we can have a look. Also, he's identified a point where he can drop an earthquake and get into a nice chunk of where the giant bomb threats are, which for me, in this raid, they look like they're towards there's 3 northern ADs, one between an air defense and the arch tower. I think there's potential double giant bomb threat there, and also by the 2 expos are close together as well, but between the expo and the air defense that's there as well, they seem like stand out, like look at me, I'm a giant bomb sort of threat, which is why he's probably going to go in from the angle he did. Now all he needs to worry about is can he get into the queen, because that's going to be the biggest challenge of this raid, I think, because she is quite a distance away. So I'm going to hit play and we're going to see how it starts. So taking a few seconds to have a think. That he's got 2 minutes. I think he did this raid in 2 minutes, so he had quite a good chunk of time left. But look at that. So the earthquake has actually allowed him into the core by the look of it, and right into the north, so at the sort of 12 o'clock entry point. And actually, if he breaks his wall breaks at the point where he's done, he's going to get into that compartment. So with that very, very, in my opinion, clever entry point, because now he's essentially opened up almost the entire base. There's early hogs down as well to help take down those defences. Poison down nice and early as well. That's always key, just to slow down the loons from getting anywhere close to the golems and dragons. And then the Valkyries are already in. The Queen's hitting the dragon very quickly, because all that outer layer of defences were taken down by the kill squad early on. Heal spell to help the Valkyries, and then everything's just already moving deep into the base. The King's not been touched, the Queen's not been touched. 4 giant bombs all went down at once then, and now he's just got free reign to spam. I mean, he's doing it sort of surgically, but he could just spam the hogs in at this point, and as long as they're going to path the right way and he can get good use of his heal spells, he's got so many hogs, he can just rush the base. And you can see again that combination of the kill squad and the actual hound drop, hog drop. Yeah, he's been able to just sweep the base, and again, just so many hogs left. It's infuriating PB for me, because I want to be this good. I want to be able to do these seamless raids, but
I completely understand. It is it's a joy to watch, though, having your guys be able to, completely take apart a base like this. But I really enjoyed the entry on this, having the EQ open up as much as it did, and then that clever little wall breaker spot to open the rest of the upper portion of that base up. It was great.
I think that set the scene for the raid, because he got Valks in there as well under heal. It just made it so open, and combining the early hogs, large amount of wizards as well to take down that first initial hit of defences, it just meant his king and queen had loads of health left by the time they got to the core, and then through the core, at that point the hogs were there to greet them. I know this video is going on a while. I'd like to apologise for that, but I hope you're enjoying the ride. We're going to show the last raid of my video now, which is the raid on number 6, which, yes, it's the Town Hall 10 3-star. Now, for those of you who don't know, Venaris tried to hit the base. I am going to speed through his raid, then I'll take you through the actual 3-star, because Van did the raid on GGF, because it's just an account that sometimes we have to use to throw into match weights, but it's an account that Venaris used to. So essentially, he got a test hit, then a real hit, which is a situation that you rarely get to have in a war environment, which clearly in this case helped him to get the 3-star. But you'll see on the Venaris raid that I'm showing up now, which I've just scrolled through and found, he's doing the Go Larloon, or Shattered Larloon, whatever you want to call it. Entry point at 10 o'clock, using got the golem down early on. The queen's starting to move inwards. It's looking like, why has he not got his other golem down? I found quite weird, because he's let his queen get targeted, but he's doing almost like a queen walk in. King and queen down now, found his entry point into Town Hall, and what he's trying to do is take down the first Inferno tower, use the free spell for the second Inferno tower. I'm going to speed through this raid a little bit. Hound in the CC, so it's almost like what you'd call a scout attack, but he went for the 3-star first time, and you can tell by the nature of the raid, and I think it'll be interesting to see what he changes to try and get that 3. And you can see the air defense just about didn't go down at the start then, which maybe that was the difference in the end that got him the 3. But the kill squad did get the Inferno, the Queen, the CC. He was left with 1 Inferno to take down, but he was left with 3 air defenses as well. And you can see the Hound and Loon deployment. It looks nice, it looks seamless, what it does look like to happen is he missed that air defense, and that's just almost ripped all his Loons apart. So by the end of it now, I think the Loons that were going to take down that final air defense just didn't quite get the job done. So with the final Wizard Tower and Tesla, it didn't quite work out. So now, PB, if we jump onto number 6 and hit take right to the start of the raid, the attack done by GGF, and we can see if there's been any subtle differences on the entry point and how he basically changed the raid slightly to get the 3-star. So I've hit play. Let's have a little look. So very similar start. Golem down, Queen down. He doesn't want the Queen to get targeted. It looks like, I think he's going to do almost the exact same entry point actually. And the Queen is not getting hit this time, which is nice for him. She looks like she's pulling north, but yes, he's completely dodged the Queen from getting hit, which is a added bonus for him. I think he's going to jump in the King and the Queen. So it just looks a little bit smoother, I think, at the start of the raid on this one so far. But what he's clearly trying to do is take 2 air defenses, the Inferno, the Queen, and the CC down, plus the Expo that is naturally going to sort of blast through on the way in. And the funny thing is, I think he's got a lower. Has he got a lower level King? I think Venaris has 40-40, and he's only got a level 31. So it's quite funny that the raid that got the 3-star was on the lower level account offensively. But I think the smoother start, you can tell already, he's got the Queen ability to spare, taking that second air defense down. The King's gone deeper. The Queen's taking more buildings down, including that clan castle there. Doesn't look like any further defences are going to go. And because that second air defence is gone, The hound pathing is going to be a lot better. 2 hounds on the first AD, 3rd hound coming in onto that first air defense as well. But all the traps that it's soaking up, and I think the extra knowledge that he gained from where those traps were sort of changed slightly on the hound pathing, so he was able to make sure he really got it right. Holding on to that freeze spell for so long, I would have probably dropped my nerve and dropped it a little bit sooner, but left the loons just perfectly timed to take down that Inferno, and then right towards the back end, I mean, at this point the raid's done. He's got so many more loons left, cleanup's down, and he's even got a spare loon to take down the Tesla. So I think that's a very good example of just how big the butterfly effect can be. If the start of the raid goes that little bit smoother sometimes, it can make such a big difference in the rest of the raid, because that air defense going down in this case was really key, because it meant that the smoother Larloon deployment brought home the 3-star for him. So,
that base even wanted him to get the 3-star. Did you see that Seeking Air Mine and hit the hound and the big group of balloons? That was great.
Yeah, just about clocked it towards the end. But yeah, I mean, that's going to, I suppose, summarise it for the attacks I wanted to show this war. Very well done to, I mean, Wiz Honor Face. There's going to be a great spectacle of raids. I mean, you've seen the ones on this video, Powerbangs. Even though there was obviously they didn't quite get the win on this one, there's still some really sick raids we've got to check out on his channel as well. So firstly and foremost, I want to say thank you for Powerbang for being so openly, inviting me to do a collaboration with you and allowing us to get together like this. I mean, that's not everyone would do it, and I think it's going to provide some good content for both of our viewers. And yeah, it's been a really nice experience in the war sense. I know it's and I will say again, I don't think the score quite reflects the actual matchup itself, because it was I just think they got a little bit unlucky. Do you have anything to add at the end?
No, you're most welcome, Matty. It's been a blast hanging out with you the last couple of days, doing the Clash thing, and thank you to you as well for making the time to do the collaboration. It's been fun. We should do more of it in the future. As far as the war goes, very impressed by your squad. You guys were top notch. Impressive raids throughout, and yeah, that's really all I got, man. I was just impressed.
It's a shame we couldn't do the live 3-star on each other. That would have been extra.
I know, right? Yeah, I was hoping we could both 3-star each other.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling that we might have your base getting 3-starred over on my channel. So
maybe
I'll let you commentate that one too.
Oh, wicked! I'll enjoy. I can't wait to that one. But anyway, go check out PB's channel. His link to his channel is in my description. But I mean, just Google Powerbang. It's that simple. And I hope you've enjoyed this video, guys. As always, you've been with Clashing Matty and Powerbang this time. But peace out.